Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another record to play for you. Today record is the story of Pinocchio for 1978. So let's get started.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Geppetto, and I am a wood carver. This is the story of a piece of wood that I made into a marionette, and the marionette became a real boy. But that is the end of my story, and first I must tell you how it began. My friend Antonio gave me a piece of wood from which to make a marionette. As I worked, I tried to think of what to call him, and finally decided to name him after a family, which was very lucky. And the father's name was Pinocchio. So, since he had a name, I set to work to finish him. I made his eyes and hair, and then his nose. As soon as I finished his nose, it began to stretch. It became longer and longer, and I kept cutting it, but it wouldn't stop growing. So finally, I left it alone and made the mouth, which laughed loudly at me. And when I roared at it to stop, stuck out its tongue. Well, I ignored this and went on working, carving the neck, the shoulders, arms, legs, and finally the feet. I felt a sharp kick on the nose as soon as I was done. I immediately put Pinocchio down on the floor and taught him how to walk. As soon as he learned, he ran around the room and then straight out the door and into the street. Oh, my, what a job we had catching him. But finally, a policeman brought him back, and I sent him up to his room.
Pinocchio?
Who is calling me?
I am.
Pinocchio was talking to a very large cricket.
Who are you?
I am Willoughby Cricket, and I have been living in this room for more than 100 years.
Well, it's my room now, and you can leave.
Not before I say what I have to say.
Well, out with it, and go away.
Pinocchio, you are not very kind at all. You must not run away from Geppetto, or you will be very sorry.
I am not going to listen to you, Willoughby Cricket. If I stay here, I will have to go to school, and I hate to study. I like to climb trees and chase after butterflies and steal birds' nests.
Foolish marionette. If you go on like that, you will turn into a perfect donkey.
I will do as I choose. I don't have to listen to you or Geppetto or anyone.
And, true to his word, he ran away that very night. I looked for him everywhere, but could not find him. The next morning, he came home. Not for any good reason, but because he was hungry. Well, I gave him breakfast, and he promised to be a good boy and go to school. So, believing he had finally learned his lesson, I gave him his school books and 5 gold pieces to turn into the headmaster. He started to school, having decided he would turn over a new leaf and really go there, at least to see what it was really like. On the way, he met a lame fox and a blind cat. That is, these two rogues pretended to be blind and lame in order to cheat Pinocchio of his gold.
How would you like to double whatever money you have, young man?
Yes, double your money.
Double my money.
Yes. If you have 1 gold piece, it could be 2. And 2 could be 4.
And 5 could be 10.
Perhaps even 15.
can you do such a thing?
Well, not far from here, there is a magic field. If you dig a hole in this field and bury your gold pieces in it, overnight the gold piece sprouts, and the next morning you will find a beautiful tree loaded with gold pieces.
Loaded with gold pieces.
Let us go there at once. And if it works, I shall give you each a gold piece.
Oh, no! We do not work for gain, only to enrich others.
Only to enrich others.
Poor Pinocchio, foolish boy, led astray by two rogues. First, they led him to an inn, where he parted with a gold piece for their supper and lodging. In the middle of the night, the innkeeper woke him and told him that his friends had to leave because of sickness in the cat's family, but that they would meet him at the field at sunrise, and he must start for the field now. So Pinocchio went on alone in the dark. Suddenly, he heard a voice.
Grr, grr. Return home to your father, Pinocchio, and take the gold pieces back to him. Don't listen to those who promise you wealth overnight. Grr. The road is dark and dangerous, and the robbers will get you. Grr.
But Pinocchio did not listen. The gold pieces were hidden under his tongue, and he was sure he was safe. But he was attacked by robbers, who were really those two rogues, the fox and the cat. But although they looked everywhere, they could not find the gold. They tied Pinocchio to a tree and left him there, and decided to come back in the morning, by which time they were sure he would be willing to tell them where he had hidden the gold. Soon after they had gone, a brilliant light flooded the night, and a beautiful fairy with long, pale blue hair appeared in front of Pinocchio. She untied Pinocchio and called for her coach. She lifted him gently into it. Pinocchio was so amazed by her appearance that he had not said a word. Who are you?
A good friend to your father Geppetto. Now, where are the gold pieces that you should have returned to your father?
I lost them. Pinocchio hadn't lost them. They were in his shoe. As he spoke, his nose, long though it was, became 2 inches longer.
And where did you lose them?
In the wood nearby.
If you lost them in the wood, we'll look for them and find them. For everything that is lost is always found.
Oh, well, now I remember. I didn't lose them. I swallowed them.
At each successive lie, Pinocchio's nose grew longer and longer. Soon he could not turn around without hitting the door, the ceiling, or the window. The fairy was looking at him and laughing.
Why do you laugh?
I am laughing at your lies.
How do you know I am lying?
There are two kinds of lies. Those with short legs and those with long noses. Yours happens to have long noses.
Pinocchio was filled with shame. His nose was so long he couldn't get through the door. The fairy showed him no pity. She was trying to teach him a good lesson. But when she saw how terrified he truly was, she clapped her hands together, and in a twinkle his nose was once more the same size as it had been.
How good you are, my fairy. I will do anything you tell me, and I will never lie or be a bad boy again.
Then leave this coach and go home to your father Geppetto and go to school like a good boy. And if you are really good, something wonderful may happen to you.
Pinocchio started on his way home. When he got there, I was nowhere to be seen. I had gone out looking for him. Pinocchio talked to everyone in the village, but no one knew exactly where I had gone. Suddenly, a dove appeared and called to him.
Do you by any chance know a wooden marionette named Pinocchio?
Did you say Pinocchio? Why, I am Pinocchio.
Then you must know Geppetto.
Geppetto? Geppetto is my father. I have been looking for him everywhere. Do you know where he is? Will you take me to him?
The dove told Pinocchio he had last seen me building a boat to cross the ocean in search of Pinocchio, but that there was a great storm, and the boat was being tossed this way and that way by the waves.
Oh, take me to the ocean, please.
Pinocchio climbed on the dove's back and was flown to the seashore. There was a crowd of people looking out to sea. The little boat was being tossed by tremendous waves. Pinocchio knew that Geppetto was on it, and he jumped into the ocean to swim out and try to save him. For he was made of wood, and he knew that wood always floats. All night long Pinocchio swam, but he was unable to find the boat, and finally, exhausted, he was tossed by a large wave onto an island. As for me, my little boat turned over, and no sooner had I fallen into the water than a great shark passed by, and in one gulp swallowed me and the wreckage of my boat. But first, let us return to Pinocchio. You will hear more of me later. No sooner had Pinocchio landed on the island than the wondrous fairy with the blue hair appeared.
Oh, what am I going to do? Everything seems to have gone wrong.
I will take you back to your father's house, and you must promise you will be a good boy and work hard and study. Then we will see what we can do in the future.
Oh, from now on, I promise I will be a good boy and go to school every day. But what about my father? Do you know where my father is?
I think so. I am sure of it. He is alive, but that is all I can tell you. Now you must go back and do exactly as you promised.
So Pinocchio started school, and he went every day for weeks. He was very popular, and he was doing very well. One of his best friends was named Lampwick, and one day Lampwick came over to him.
Pinocchio, I've met a marvelous magician who has offered to take any boy who wishes to go to the land of toys, where every day is Sunday except Saturday. Vacation begins on the 1st of January and ends on the last of December. And all you have to do is laugh and play all day. Do you want to come?
Pinocchio was all ready to say yes, but he thought about the fairy and all the trouble his father had gotten into. And finally, very sadly, he shook his head.
No, I must stay here and go to school.
Well, at least come down and say goodbye to me. And so he did. And when he saw the wagon full of boys going to the land of toys, where there was nothing to do, he could not resist going along with them. I will stay only a few days, and then come right back to school, he thought. The land of toys was as marvelous as everyone said it would be. The boys did nothing but play marbles and ride bikes, play tag, have parties, and never did they give a single thought to school. Pinocchio was having a marvelous time, until one morning he awoke and found he had grown 2 donkey ears. And try as he might, he could not get them off. He ran to find Lampwick, and Lampwick too had grown 2 donkey ears, and he was just starting to grow a tail. For you see, lazy boys who hate teachers and books and spend all their time on toys and games turn into donkeys. Now the magician sold both boys to a circus owner at a good profit. The circus owner worked Pinocchio very hard, until one morning Pinocchio could not even get up from the straw in the stable where he now lived. Since he was useless, the owner tied a stone around his neck and threw him into the sea. Down Pinocchio sank, deeper and deeper, and suddenly a great fish passed by and swallowed Pinocchio, donkey ears and all. And guess who was inside? Me! I was overjoyed to see him, and just as I was about to throw my arms around him, the shark started to sneeze, and sneeze, and sneeze. Pinocchio's donkey ears were tickling him, and suddenly we were blown by the shark's sneezes right out into the sea, and we were able to swim to shore. From that moment on, Pinocchio was a changed boy. He went to school every day and studied hard. We lived happily together for over a year, and as bad as he had been, that's just how good he was. And one morning, when Pinocchio woke up and went to brush his teeth, he looked in the mirror and realized that he was no longer a marionette, but a real live boy. He felt a bump in his pocket at the same moment, and when he reached in it, he pulled out a little blue leather purse, which said, "To Pinocchio, from the fairy with the blue hair, on his very first birthday as a real live boy."
Oh, Father, look at me. I'm a real live boy. I have real brown hair and freckles and everything. I'm so happy. Is it the fairy who has done this?
Yes, indeed. Many, many years ago, she promised me a real son if only I would be patient. And now, here you are.
But where's the old Pinocchio? The wooden one.
There he is, right on the chair. And I pointed to the large marionette sitting on the chair.
How ridiculous I was as a marionette. And how happy I am now that I have become a real boy.
And I, Geppetto, am even happier, for I have the son I have wanted all my life.
So that was the story of Pinocchio from 1978. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.